Welcome to Western Mass News, your school authority, where we continue to provide you the very latest info surrounding the pandemic. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Murphy.
And I'm Taylor Jacobs. Right now, there's so many questions surrounding the schools, so that's really what this whole half hour is about, to focus on your concerns.
So let's do it. We turn to Dr. Erika Hamilton, microbiologist from UMass Amherst. Firing off our first question, what parts of a school do officials need to clean more often than others?
So the items that need more cleaning and disinfection are ones that are touched the most or are used the most. And this is completely logical. This makes total sense. So desks, the backs of chairs, toilets, sinks, water fountains, doors, those are all great examples of things that are touched very commonly, used very commonly, and will need to be cleaned. The things that schools have to watch out for are items that are not as obvious, or items that are used sometimes but not all the time. So pencil sharpeners, calculators, sports equipment, these are all examples of things that in some circumstances people may forget to disinfect them because they're not used on a daily basis.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And we can't forget about the basics there. So as it relates to the basics, you got to get from class to class if you're going to school actually in person. So can students actually catch the virus while interspersing with each other as they go there?
If schools were running as they normally would, then yes, you would actually see a lot of transmission of COVID as students walked from class to class. And this is one of the reasons why we have so many changes in schooling this year. Because it is such a high risk, because you have people walking against each other and they're going to be talking and laughing, things like that, and spreading virus. It will be greatly reduced by the adaptations that schools have taken on. Wearing masks, social distancing will reduce virus spread. Some schools may have one-way hallways to use. And schools aren't going to have the full complement or component of students there. Well, schools that are meeting only have half the number of students in at any one time. And all of these things are done to reduce the chances of COVID transmission, either in a classroom or while students are walking.
Things that are certainly thought over as we head back to class. Now, are younger students less likely to get COVID-19?
Researchers think so, but this is a really hard question to answer. So researchers have to try and answer it by taking large amounts of data from all over the world and sifting through it to try and figure this question out. And they look at things like infection rates in adults versus children. How did the kids catch the virus? Did they get it at school or at a sports game or from their parents? Did the children become ill? Did the child infect anyone else? And this can be really complicated by things like school closings. A lot of places had massive amounts of school shutdowns and business shutdowns when COVID hit. How do different countries run their schools? How many kids do you have in a classroom versus here versus, say, in Germany? Are there societal factors at play? Some societies have more multi-generational households than we do in the U.S. And there's also the problem of underreporting COVID in children, because even if they catch the virus, they tend to not show symptoms, so people don't know they have it. And so all of these things make it really, really difficult to determine, do kids really become infected? And these are kids under the age of 10. Do they become infected less easily or less often? So overall, possibly, we think so, but it is super hard to sift through all of this information and come up with a concrete answer for people.
On top of that, the virus is only really less than a year old. So, Dr. Hamilton, thank you for joining us here on this Monday afternoon. We're going to have more of your insight here, no doubt, in the coming days.
And a reminder for you folks at home, Western Mass News is your school authority. We'll work to answer your questions and concerns about the school year. Call our newsroom 413-846-0200 or email us schoolauthority@westernmassnews.com.